Good afternoon, grade 5 students. Welcome to my class. I'm Teacher Clair and this would be our first lesson together. So for the rest of the term, I will be your teacher for English. So we will meet once in a week and I hope that we do our best in order to learn new things and in order to improve ourselves. So again, I want to welcome you all in my English class and have fun. If you have any questions, you can just let me know and I would help you out the best that I can, okay? All right, so kids, today we are going to start with Unit 5. That's the main title for Unit 5 is Tell Me How. So this question basically answers questions with processes step by step. For example, how to cook soup. Okay, so how to cook soup. So in order for you to know, you should first know the first thing that you need to do. That's buy the ingredients, wash the ingredients, and then chop it and then cook it. So how? So basically we are going to learn things and how to do it or how they do it and many more for Unit 5, okay? Okay, so today we are going to discuss two subtopics for Unit 5, which is number 1, share your knowledge about salt. And second, we will learn about style. So learn about style, it is writing, how to write something. So there are two ways. Let's start with number 1, share your knowledge about salt. So we are using this book. All right, so if you have the same book, please open them so that you can follow after me. So we are on page 72. Okay, so we have here some words that we also have to discuss. So for these vocabularies, we are going to discuss them during our class, okay? So this video is mainly for introduction of our lesson. Okay, so share your knowledge about salt on page 72. So listen to your teacher read a story. Then discuss the questions. So I will read this story now because it's just a short story. I want you to follow with your eyes. You can also read after me if you want to. That would be very nice way for you to practice as well. Okay, so let's read the story about the Salt Princess. Okay, once upon a time in a kingdom far away, there lived a king and his 3 daughters. One day, eager to know who loved him the most, the king asked them, "How much do you love me?" The eldest replied, "I loved you more than gold." The king was delighted. The second daughter replied, "I love you more than diamonds." The king was elated. The youngest replied, "I love you more than salt." The king was furious. More than salt? How dare she compare her love with something of such low value? In his rage, he banished her from the kingdom. She left, taking with her all the salt in the land. Soon afterwards, the king's appetite began to wane, for the food no longer tasted good. Without nourishment, he became weak and ill, but nothing could tempt him to eat. He could no longer take pleasure in either his food or his life. As he lay dying, his youngest daughter returned, bringing a dish of warm, salty broth. With the first delicious taste, the king felt his strength and his relish for life begin to return. He realized at last that his youngest daughter loved him most of all. For when she had said she loved him more than salt, she meant she loved him more than that which sustains life, and more than the joy of life itself. And that is a great love indeed. Okay, that's a very nice story, guys. So I hope that you followed through with me. Now later I will be posting I read the story first because I want you to go back to the video. If you want to improve more your reading, then you can just go back and follow or repeat after me. And we are going to answer this later on during our class, okay? All right, so what is salt? Based on the story, the youngest daughter said, I love you more than salt. So it's an idiom which means that I love you more than anything else, because salt is very important. So what is salt? Salt is a mineral composed primarily of sodium chloride. So element name is NaCl. So whenever you see this, it just simply means salt. Okay, so it is composed of one sodium and one chloride. So if you hear sodium chloride, it means salt. Okay, and salt is essential for life in general. So in the story that we read, essential, it also means that it's important, we need it. So even if it's very dangerous, if you take it too much, it's still essential in general, meaning it's still important. Some amount of salt is naturally found in most food, which means that we don't need to put a pinch of salt, we don't have to add salt, because these foods already have salt in it. So what are those food? We have caviar. This is a black egg from a fish, and it's a delicacy and it's also expensive. So naturally caviar have salt. And anchovies, this is a kind of fish. So these foods, and there's a lot more, okay kids, there's a lot more which naturally have salt. All right, so that's for your salt. Now please kids, try to prepare your books. If you don't have books, then just prepare your notebooks for your activity later on. So basically that's your salt. And we also I also read earlier two words in the story. We have wane. Okay, we have wane. Why? We have wane and broth. Okay, so wane, it means reduce or to lessen. Reduce. What else? Lessen. Okay, so you can also use wane, you can use lessen or reduce. Okay, and for broth, it's a like if you boil chicken for a long time, then that soup from boiling the chicken or beef or pork, we call that broth. So it's like a soup as well, soup based. Okay, so this is what the king ate, and when the youngest daughter came back with this and with a little salt, then the king became happy. Okay, so next let's move on to number 2. Learn about styles. So we have two styles. We have a personal style and we have an impersonal style. So there are different characteristics for this two, which is in your book. Okay, let's discuss it very quick. Go on page 74. So this is on page 74. Why I'm losing my voice? Okay, on page 74 we have a personal style. So these two styles we use them in writing, okay kids? So it's like formal way of writing and informal way of writing, just to make it more simpler. And instead of saying a personal style and impersonal style, you can also say formal and informal, which is much better for you to remember. Okay, for a personal style, please look at your book. Sounds friendly and relaxed. So what are the words that we can use? You can simply say good morning. It sounds friendly, right? You can also say have a good day. It sounds friendly and relaxed. You can also say, oh, it's such a nice day today. Okay, what else? Use contractions. When we say contractions, kids, it's the shortened way of writing two words. So for example, we have I have. So this is the whole word or phrase. Then you can just simply say I've. This is a contraction. Right? So in a personal style, you can use contractions. Okay? There's many contractions. What else? Uses informal expressions. Informal expressions, we can say ouch, like how you feel about something. So it's a little bit informal because it's just an expression. And many more, we will discuss that more later. And an impersonal style uses formal language, avoids slang. For this one, kids, an impersonal style, you should avoid using slang and contractions. So for this one, you should not use contractions. Okay? And we use the second and third person pronouns. What are those? So for this one we use I, me, but in here we use the second person pronoun, which is you, they, and it, right? And there's many more. Okay, so that's it, kids. So we learned for this presentation, I shared to you about SALT and learn style on writing, but there are many more ways and styles for writing. And for task 1, please go page 3 for 73. Okay, on page 73, task 1, you have to answer this table. So the first table, I'll show you a picture. I'll send you a picture. What I already know. So in here, write what I already know about SALT. Okay? And then in here, the second space, second column, you are going to write what else do you want to know about SALT. Okay, what else do you want to know? Meaning it's something that you don't know yet. So in here, something that you already know. In here, something that you want to know. And for the last column, you have to write what you found out. So in here, you want to know, and you have to do a research here, kids. And then in here, you have to write what you found out. Okay, so that's your task 1, kids. Please do it. I will give you time to do that. I'll see you later and I'll give you task 2. Hello kids, I'm back. Thank you for sending me your answers, especially for your task 1. And thank you for answering other questions that I asked you regarding the story that we just read. So for task 2, I will be sending you something that you need to do. So for you to be able to prepare for that, we are going to talk about your pronouns. So we have your first person pronoun, second person pronouns, and the third person pronoun. So you have to identify these words if it's first, second, or third. They are very important, kids, especially if you're trying to explain yourself to someone. or if you're trying to describe someone as well. Okay, so we are going to have a pronouns activity for task 2. So please just wait for it. I'll be sending them to you shortly. And I'll be back for your homework. Okay kids, I'm back for your homework. It's going to be easy because you'll just have to prepare your pen and your book. So on the last part of your book, the worksheets, you have to answer page 63 and 64. So it's gonna be easier for you because we already read the story earlier. So at the back also you have to read it first. Okay, you have to read it first just in case you forgot, and turn to page 64. On page 64 there are 3 questions that you have to answer, and letter B, you have to make a story. Okay, so I'm not asking you to make a long story. I just want to see something about your ideas. Okay, if it's 2-paragraph story, it's gonna be fine, but don't go lower than 2 paragraphs. Okay, so there's a space here for you to do that. I will be waiting for your answers. Again kids, for letter B, you have to write your own story. That's why the beginning of the story on your book is once upon a time. Okay, and don't worry, I will help you out. If you have any questions, just ask me and I will answer you right away. Okay kids, so I'll see you again next week. Enjoy your week, enjoy your holidays, be safe and have fun. Goodbye.